The new Professor Oak has Pokémon fans losing their minds in the most hilarious way possible. Pokémon Home, the new service that gives Pokémon trainers around the world the chance to store and transfer their pocket monsters across games and platforms for a low price, has finally launched. Boy howdy! Of course, you may remember the controversy with this service when details were revealed last month, which had many fans up in arms over the premium paid aspects of this service. Some were on board, most were not. But now it's finally here, and that bickering has fallen to the wayside because the only thing Pokemon fans are talking about is Pokemon Home's wild-ass new version of Professor Oak. You remember Professor Oak, the kindly old researcher who broke, like, all kinds of ethics laws by sending a 10-year-old out into the world with not but a Pokedex of his own design to catalog and capture wild animals and make them fight for sport? Well, yeah, he's back. Kinda. While there have been many Pokemon professors throughout the franchise's storied history, the professor who guides you through Pokemon Home is Professor Grand Oak. Now, it's not quite clear if this is the original Professor Oak with a mullet and some sweet new shades, an alternate dimension Professor Oak, or maybe just like a weird cousin to the original Pokemon professor as we saw in Pokemon Sun and Moon, which fans have since dubbed Alolan Oak. But Professor Grand Oak is here, and he has Pokemon fans straight up losing their minds. Now, let's be clear, nobody's mad about it. It just seems they're not sure how to process this new development, and many have taken to social media to express their bewilderment. So let's check out some of the best reactions thus far. These are super effective. Let's start with Axial Matt, who asks a very important question for this cool new professor. Can you have a midlife crisis if you're already old? Hey buddy, look, you're only as old as you feel, first of all. Second of all, we don't know how old people get in the Pokemon universe. Maybe they have like weird Mewtwo stem cells that let them have eternal life. Actually, that's a pretty good idea. At a Nerdskull follows these sentiments with, I like midlife crisis, Professor Oak. I don't care what anyone says. You buy that sports car. You deserve it, bro. We agree. You do deserve it, Professor Oak. But you know what else we deserve? Another Pokemon Snap. Get off your ass. At That Retro asks, why does Professor Oak look like he wants to take me to the future in his time machine? The pop culture references didn't stop there, because we saw at Curlin, who tweeted, who's this Dog the Bounty Hunter looking motherfucker, and what has he done to Professor Oak? Okay, to be fair, a bounty hunting Pokemon game actually sounds pretty tight, like Pokemon Snap with more violence. I'll do anything for Pokemon Snap. Seriously, it's a crime that we only had the one. Now, this was new info for some of us here in the office, but it turns out that the OG Professor Oak was the subject of many a young fan's desires, and this new thirsty Oak is not scratching the same itch. Or as film critic and noted Bong Joon-ho stan Karen Han said, as someone who has a crush on the original Professor Oak, I have to say I find this incredibly distressing. And she's not alone. At Eska14 got even more specific. They did Professor Oak really, really dirty. Give me back my hot piece of ass that is old Professor Oak. Now, you don't need to be Professor Sigmund Freud to unpack these next tweets. At Apathy Ignorance tweeted, I don't know what's happening with the new Professor Oak, but I think he f***ed my nan. And at Chad Zuia tweeted, Professor Oak's sending me on a mission to collect 151 Pokemon so he can f*** my mom. You know, Freud himself once said, being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise, and sometimes a professor is just a professor. Also, did you know there's now a theory that this Oak watches over all possible Pokemon in all possible dimensions? Yeah, it turns out that's a thing. And it's this theory that has Pokemon fans getting all types of esoteric and questioning existence. Like at Isaac Vanilla, who tweeted, either Professor Oak is a god or could kill a god, and I do not care if there's a difference. And at the Hog and Dice brings this way of thinking to its natural conclusion with the tweet, Pokemon has always had multiple timelines and dimensions. I want this to be like Oak Prime, the Professor Oak from the first timeline. There should be an Oak continuum, a council of Oaks, the forest. Looks like we're getting into some Rick and Morty territory, but honestly, I'm fine with it. And last but not least, as a palate cleanser, at No One Lemon Snout might be onto something with this tweet. They made Professor Oak Digivolve. Because as we all know, Digimon are, well, they're the champions. But what do you folks think? What are your thoughts about this mysterious new Professor Grand Oak? Are you going to pay for the Pokemon Home Premium service? And who is your all-time favorite Pokemon professor? And why is it Grand Oak? Let's discuss. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, why not give us a like and subscribe? And if you want to get notified every time we go live with a new show or drop a new video, please feel free to mash that little bell. That way you can be up to date on all the latest theories, news, and rumors in the pop culture world.